Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, also universally known as chest day for everybody. The pre is hitting, the cinnamon toast crunch is flowing through the veins. This spells for a one-way ticket to something I like to call taking progressions across the boardsville. So we'll start off with our good old 3 sets of 30 on dumbbell bench. Last time I did a 30 and then a 35. 30 for the first set, and then 35 for the second 2 sets. Today, we'll bump it up, go 35 for the first set, 37 and a half for the second 2 sets. So let's get cracking. Yeah, 37 should fall. First set was solid, but honestly, I was feeling a little bit too much triceps. So I'm gonna try to focus on contracting with the chest initially at the bottom of the movement to kind of like work on that mind muscle connection and make sure I'm using the right stuff. Part of the benefit of using these 30 rep sets is that you can spend a lot more effort on focusing on what you're actually trying to recruit. Whereas when you're doing sets of 5 to 8 reps, usually your body's just gonna like do whatever, and you're gonna have difficulty feeling what you want to feel. So again, not necessarily mind muscle connection is the most important thing, but this is just gonna like, it's skill building essentially. You build the skills here, hopefully that's gonna translate to stuff later. Plus, dude, the literature literally says 5 to 30 reps is gonna do the same growth. It's just one causes more fatigue. So this is still working. It might cause some extra fatigue, but we're looking at the trade-offs here. I value the skill building more than the additional fatigue, especially since I'm doing 1x frequency right now. This is just a temporary thing. So yeah, let's do this. Whew. Really solid set. I have plenty more in the tank there. We should be good for one more set on this, and then next time might just be able to start with 40s. Honestly, I'm very happy with that. Like I said, one-way ticket to progressions across the boardsville. Dude, in between the last set, I opened TikTok, and the first thing that comes up is Cooking for Gains on TikTok Live, and he's literally like, I'm pretty sure he's on a date with another girl, and he's just TikTok living the whole thing. This guy is genuinely, he might be one of the most unhinged people in the fitness space. I have zero idea how people gave this guy a platform, but it's honestly comical. Whew. Perfect spot to be in that last set. Probably 3 to 5 reps left. Perfect spot for the first exercise. We'll definitely be up and away next time. Dude, what an awesome day. Dumbbell flies. Let's get this. I don't even know if I counted that set right. That might have been more than 30 reps. Yeah, dumbbell flies are going to look a little bit different for everybody because everybody's shoulder anatomy, range of motion, everything is way different. So for some people, you're going to come way wider. Some people are going to be more narrower. Some people are going to almost think about queuing out, and some people are going to come more down. You just really want to focus that when you're on your way up, you're just thinking about queuing the biceps together and not thinking about like pushing too much and getting some other stuff recruited in there and putting too much stress on the shoulder. So just play around with it. You know, something I was thinking about recently is your diet might be ruining your life. So I basically spent the entirety of 2025 cutting and I was in a deficit. And the whole time I thought I felt good. Like, wasn't really running into major recovery, sleep, energy issues until kind of towards the end. Sleep started to drop off a little bit. I'd wake up pretty much every night to go to the bathroom. I wouldn't wake up hungry, but I'd wake up around like after about 5 hours of sleep consistently. I'd wake up and I'd have to go to the bathroom, and then I'd have a little bit of trouble falling back asleep sometimes. But overall, I thought I felt okay, and it wasn't too bad. Towards the end, I also had a lot of like hunger cravings. My food noise was really high, which at the moment it just felt like, oh, like I'm hungrier than normal, and I'm craving some sweet foods and stuff, and maybe I'm being brainwashed by my social media feed, seeing a bunch of crumble and certs and like all that kind of stuff. But now that I've got out of the diet, I realized how bad I was actually feeling and how like it's almost like life was on a dimmer switch. And now it just feels like totally different. Like I don't do drugs or anything like that, but what I feel now in comparison is like this must be what drugs feels like. Like it literally just feels amazing, like 24/7, just like euphoric in comparison. Now, let's say you're dieting down for like a bodybuilding show or something. You're gonna have to. This is just like a necessity. You're gonna have to hit a point where you're just gonna feel like crap. But if you're dieting just for like overall health purposes, one, you got to find out what point is it worth dieting to, and two, what is the rate that I need to get there. And I think it's a really important skill to find the combination of those two factors that keeps your life in like a good state, so you don't have to get into like a bad position for no reason. I'm glad that I went through what I did because it's a learning experience. But now I know for next time, like if I'm not dieting for a show, I'm not doing things the same way I did last time because life just feels so much better in comparison. 20. Way too easy. That set was way too easy. Set number 3. 15 repper, I believe. I think I'm going to do this weight for my 20 repper next time. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, I should be able to get a 20 next time. Cool. Alright, final set. Gotta get the optimal Star Wars edits. Highly optimal for maximum motor unit recruitment. Ugh. I think we can go up +5. Yeah, I don't even think my gym has 42 and a half. So we'll be at 45 next time. All right, onto the Nautilus Hack Deck. Now, I am personally convinced that this is the greatest chest machine ever made. Well, it's going to depend on your anatomy, but for somebody like me who's more shoulder dominant, I think a fly with a good resistance profile plus one that you can get your arms or get the pads further up on your arms, so you don't have to hold it, is going to be way better in terms of the connection that you feel with your chest versus the strain and like tension you're getting on your shoulder. There's some other, like the Life Fitness fly and the Arsenal fly there, where you got to hold it with the handles, and it's okay, but I don't get the same connection that I do with the chest here, and I've yet to find another machine that gets something similar. So last time we were doing the gym pin to do like a half increment, and this time we'll go up a full weight plate on the thing. So plus one across the board, and see how these go. We'll start with the set of 30. That was really easy. I'm tempted to go up another full plate next time, but I think I'll opt to just go gym pin and then maybe focus a little bit more on the squeeze. When it comes to like the high rep work, again, like we're trying to get a connection, so I'm okay with going for a little bit more squeeze and not just trying to get the rep completely out. In fact, in my previous phase of programming, my last like 4-week block, most of my high rep work was I had to do a 3-second eccentric and a 3-second concentric and squeeze at the top. Ideally, the goal is again to like really rinse that connection between, again, your mind and the muscle, and be able to like squeeze and contract and all that stuff, and also be able to deal with like the pain. So you can dramatically vary your fatigue levels with how much you squeeze. Like when I was doing that, that was when I was doing, like for example, on the shoulder press, I literally couldn't even do the 5-pound dumbbells for 20 reps. I had to just use my hands and do the movement, because when you actually focus on like the time under tension in the squeeze, it's just way more taxing. So yeah, I'll probably just go gym pin and squeeze a little bit more next time, and we'll bump this up for the next set. Set number 2, 20 repper. We'll do that weight again next time. It was definitely significantly harder than the first set. Bump it up by a gym pin and keep it the same for that one. See how the next sets go. All right, I took a little bit of extra rest. I'm anticipating this set to be pretty difficult because I'm going up a plate from what I did before, but I got to do 15 reps, which the difference between 15 and 20 isn't all that much. So I'm gonna have to grind this one out and see how it goes. No matter what weight you're doing, maintain your torso stack. Stop doing this. Okay, wasn't as bad as I thought. I love surprising myself. It's always nice. We'll go gym pin that next time. For the last set of 8, I was only gonna do 6, like 6 holes in the machine, but I realized this is my last session in this cycle on chest, and I don't know if I'm gonna still have this exercise in the next one. So screw it. We'll add the gym pin, go for that, see how it goes. I honestly think based on how 5 moved, this one shouldn't be too bad. So the set is brought to you by Yeet. Did I just break this machine? That was really weird. The machine just decided to crap itself for no reason. All good. All right. Bench press. All right. Threw up some depressing warm-up sets on this. Hopefully the working ones are a little bit better. For some reason, this is the only bench like this one they have. All the rest of them now are the fat pad ones, which I don't really like the Rogue Thompson fat pad. Everybody seems to like to bench more on those because they feel more stable, but I honestly feel less stable. I feel like it kind of like limits my mobility a little bit more. So this is the only bench that we have. Fortunately, there's not that many people here today, so. Yeah, it's probably 6 with 3. Definitely way better than the warm-ups. Set number 2. Going for 2 to 3 RIR, I would say. 3 RIR on this one, I'm gonna be real happy. That last rep slowed a little bit, so I'll call it 2. We're still in a good spot to increase the reps next time. Set number 3, need at least 1 in the tank by the end of it. Let's get it. Yeah, we had 1. We had 1. Last exercise, 3 sets of decline hammer strength press. Last time I did 80 on each side. In my notes, I was going to only go up 5 or 7.5 on each side. I'm going to go to 90. If I overshoot it and get a little bit of rest, a little bit less reps than what the target is, it's not the end of the world. I'm supposed to get 10 to 12. If I get 8 to 10, it's not going to be that bad. But I think we can get 10 to 12. So never really done this exercise, so I'm probably still taking a bunch of neural adaptations anyways. 11 with 2, maybe it was 3. Say 11 2, set 2. Level with 2. Final set. Go to failure just for fun. See where we can get. $13 and a half. Solid. So I was estimating my RIR pretty well in the previous sets, which is good. And I'm not even in the frame. So that will conclude the session, and we will start the closing room now. All right, let's see if there's anything decent under here. No, I'm pretty happy with this. Can't see much because the camera's right in the way, but I'm assuming when I look back at this, the chest is looking decently full. One thing, so you know how you're always used to looking at your mirrored image? When you look at your reflective image, just every little like flaw or imbalance or asymmetry just like really stands out to you. And when I'm looking at the back of the video, this pec just looks way bigger than this pec to me. So I don't know if I'm just tripping. Sorry. Wait. No, sorry. This pec looks bigger than this pec. I can't see it in the mirror right now, but I'm assuming when I look back at the video, it's going to be like that. And I think it's just because I connect way better with my right pec, especially since, like, dude, when I play tennis, sometimes my pec actually feels sore because you're essentially doing a similar movement to a fly. You're bringing the upper arm into the body, so I might have a little bit better connection with the muscle because of that, and that might be why it's overdeveloped. I don't know if it's the imbalance is that obvious to other people that are looking, but it's something we will continue to work on. I've never done unilateral chest work before, but it might be something we start to experiment with. Again, I'm still like a very newbie lifter in terms of my size, so I don't know if it's something I need to hyper focus on yet, but we'll see. Whatever the coach says is what we'll do. So very happy with the session. Took progressions across the board as expected, and yeah, we'll be back for shoulders tomorrow.